I've just been on the allotment and done this harvest of tomatoes, both from the open ground and also in the greenhouse. Well, I've done quite a few varieties. I've just put them in this basket all together. They're really quite late ripening this year. I mean, I'm now approaching September and I've still got probably 50% of the tomatoes still green. So whether we have chutney or whether we have this little Indian summer and get them all to ripen, who knows. But in the meantime, get these in and give them a good wash. Well, a few weeks have passed since we did that last clip, and here in the greenhouse, the tomatoes has been grown in the AUTOPOTs. Most of them have started to ripen. There's the odd one or two, but I'm going to manage these. What I have done now, because it's now dropping extremely cold of an evening, I've actually almost closed the vent at night, and I've shut the door just to try and get a bit of extra heating to G them up a bit. As I said, one night last week we actually went down to about 3 degrees. So for this time of year that's quite cold. So we need to be keeping our eye on the frost and anything was going to be affected by it. In the meantime, I'll take you back out onto the plot and show you where the rest of the stuff's getting on out there. We have got hit quite heavily on this side by blight again. I'll just show this guy's greenhouse. There's the plot next to me. As you can see, his tomatoes have actually been devastated. So I'll say that's inside the greenhouse. Just bring you around and show you my stuff outdoors. Fortunately, all these varieties are here are blight resistant and they seem to have stood the test so far. As you can see, we've got plenty of fruits on, particularly on the cherry varieties, and then we're ripening nicely. So I'm going to start picking those. There's a bit of damage on the end there. I'm not sure whether that's the ripening or affected, but the stems look okay. I always check the stems first, the axil leaf between the stem and the stalk, and that's a good indicator if you're going to get blight. Anyway, so that's the state of play with my tomatoes outdoor. I'm going to start picking what's good of those. Oh, that's most of the red ones picked off now. There's still some turning. We've got some good weather for the next 3 or 4 days, so fingers crossed that holds the blight off and they managed to come more red. All in all, the allotment's starting to get to sleep now. I'm gradually emptying the beds and I'll probably do my usual thing. I might get some cow manure this year, top dress it and cover. But the big project for me is actually replace the sides, because quite a lot of the beds now, the actual wood's collapsed and I'm going to need to really do something about that quickly. I'm just starting to harvest the peppers now, getting out what I can with the temperatures dropping. Always it's a strange thing though with peppers, I'm never ever sure when to harvest them. I mean, some of them green, some of them turn red, then yellow, and sometimes I'll leave them and think, let them grow a bit bigger, and something like that happens. So I'm just going to go around now, have a feel and see what's nice and firm, and I'm going to start taking them off the plant. As we approach the end of September, I'm just getting these 4 tanks ready to plant out the garlic. Normally I plant them in that bed next door, but they've got some winter cabbage in at the moment. I'm going to leave them in for another few weeks. So as usual, I've incorporated plenty of rotted horse manure in here and dug it in probably about at least 6 inches deep, and I've given it a good watering just to make sure it's moist. And the next thing for me now is to just top dress these with a bit of superphosphate, and I'll put the covers on and the worms will take that down, and give it another 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be ready to plant out the garlic. I've moved in the greenhouse on the allotment to continue the cleanup. Last night we had a bit of temperature, it went down to I think about 3 degrees, and now it's approached midday. It's only about 8 or 9, so I think the colder nights are on the way, definitely. What I'm going to do, I'm going to harvest all my tomatoes off, and I'll stick them in this tray here and just let them see what ripens, what doesn't. Looking down the bottom end at the peppers, we've got some nice little harvests on there to pick. We've got one lone little melon. I don't think that's going to do any good now, so that'll be coming out. And the aubergines, although they had flowers, they never set any fruit. We're just a few days away from the beginning of October. I've never had stuff so late ripening. You can see here we've got flowers still trying to produce fruits. There's one or two starting to turn colour. But all in all, a very slow season. But a few nights just above zero lately, so I've decided I'm going to take all the peppers off so I don't want these to get any frost in them and send them squidgy. So I'll get all these off and bring you back, show you what we got. I thought I'd show you this, worth a mention. I've just upturned a 30-litre container of potatoes and got these out. And a decent crop. These are the Charlottes. I've got another one over there, and hopefully that'll be just as good. I'll just pop you on the stand and show you what I get out of it. Well, I don't think that tub revealed as many as the one previously, but not to worry. That's what I've got in total out of 2 tubs. I'll give them a wash. In general, the potatoes have done quite well this year. I've done, I think it's 24 tubs. I've still got about 9 Charlottes to harvest, and I think there's 8 main crop as well. I haven't touched those yet. The benefit to growing them in these containers is that I harvest them as and when required. I don't have to lift them, clean them and bag them. And as long as you keep the main bad weather out now, I'll probably stack these, put a bit of tarpaulin over the top, but still let some air flow through. I can see these lasted me well into February. That's most of this year apple crop harvested. I've probably given at least 1 basket away. I should say there's about half of the volume on the floor still. The birds are enjoying them. Those are the 3 here. These are the Egremont russet, crop really well. And this variety here, I was told by the RHS when I took a sample that these was golden delicious, but somehow I don't think they are. Still a nice flavour, not too bitter. Anyway, that's this year's apple crop. It's been a strange growing year this year for the UK gardeners. However, saying that, September's produced some rewarding harvests for me. What with the potatoes are still going, the peppers, the fruit, the apples, and also the tomatoes. Most of the beds are emptying now. I've still got some celery in there, parsnips, and of course my favourite, the Brussels sprouts. So I hope you join me on my next misadventure on the allotment. I'm Nigel Jukes. You've been watching the MuddyBootz Allotment channel.